Alright, so before I tear my radio out, I want to test, or not tear my radio out, tear my front end out. I want to test this Berlinetta radio because the battery will be out. I want to see if it'll work. Now this radio, I actually got lucky, and when I went to go get the fenders at the junkyard, this was still in the car, so very lucky to get that. And you can see this is an 84 radio. That's an 85. You can see a little bit how much different they are. It says that one's not as black, but like the numbers, like that has FM, AM labeled, and that's like just on the sides. It's double labeled. This isn't. You know, it's the rewind and fast forward arrows light up on this one instead of that one. They all look the same except for you know, like that's one thing I like about this car is they changed it in little touches every year. So we're gonna take this radio out, even though it works perfect. I just want to test this one first. So be right back when I'm starting to disassemble. Alright, when you're taking out this particular kind of radio, if you have a Berlinetta and you're watching this, you're gonna have Torx bolts, size Torx 15, and there's gonna be 2 here, then 2 under the ashtray. And then once you take this is going to come off, and you don't even really need to take your shifter knob off, and if you do, there's a snap ring inside there you got to remove with snap ring pliers. For this, I will be taking the shifter off. This is just a little bit more easier and convenient. And but first, I will show you that Torx 15 bolts, they just come right off. Socket. Side. It's a good turn, they come right off and come right out. So I'm going to get the 4 bolts off. Now I'll come back and I'll show you how to take the shifter knob out. Alright, and then now that you got the 4 bolts out, you'll be able to move around freely, but not too well. I'm going to take your shifter knob off. I'm off with one little pull. There should be 2 prongs on it. If there isn't, they're probably stuck to this. Just, you know, take them off or leave them on. Well, you actually got to take them off. And then get your snap ring pliers, as you see me doing here. You want to line them up with the 2 holes. What I'm trying to do is motherfucker. It's really hard to do too when you can't get it good. There we go. Oh. Yeah. And then you just want to squeeze this lightly, and this will come out right around it. There's your snap rings. And then make sure you don't break this. If you do, you can go to an auto parts store and get a new one. You know, you just gotta squeeze it really lightly and don't lose it either. And the shifter should slide right off. And that comes out. And this plate should come out with ease. And watch if you have a light bulb that goes to your thing right here. It should come out with just 1 twist to the left, and then that's out. And this piece right here will come out in all 1 unit. And then now you're gonna have to take out, because this is actually bolted to this. You're gonna need to take this out also. And it's a 9/32, I believe. Trying to remember. Yeah, it's a 9/32 socket, and comes right out. These aren't really always too tight. So before I take the radio out, I got to take off this cover. And this cover right here too is a very, well, it was hard for me to find, because the last owner got a CD player and hacked it like in a hacksaw and actually friggin' put that in here. So I had to search for the whole setup. Luckily this radio came from my 85 parts car that I got my very super clean mint front end off of too. Because I went there to go just buy this radio, and the one thing that went with it, and this cover, and I ended up buying the whole car for parts. It's kind of cool. So I got the wheels, I got the sheet, some of the sheet metal, the front end, some of the interior. Well, the interior went to a guy I know who was restoring an 82 Z28. He wanted power options in it, so this was loaded with them. Let me get this off and I'll show you how to take the radio off. And I had to use the wrench to get the bolts broken loose, but yeah, 9/32 socket, or it could be a metric, I don't know. This, I used the 9/32 bolts on it, and it came right off. So you could have like maybe a 9mm and an 8mm on there. So here's that one, and the next one. Now, I think I already said it, but if you have a Berlinetta and you're looking for one of these radios, they are very hard to find, like in a junkyard or anything. And I don't even think they reproduce them, because they only made this car for 3 years with this option of radio and digital dash. It's kind of a bitch to get a hold of. Break that loose, and then down at the bottom, you're going to see how the radio swivels down here. Now when you go to take it out, you got to turn it out of the way of the, you see all the metal, looks like a metal holder. You got to turn it out of that way, get it out of that clip that holds it. The one thing that works best is you got to bend it out of the way, just a little bit. It takes 2 hands to do. I'm just telling you what to do. Like, you could probably, yeah, you got to use something to bend that back. I can't do it with one hand to show you, but I'm going to get it out now. Go past the clip, and then out he comes. And this should come right out with it. Probably slide around on you, but so let me get this. Now, don't stretch the wires on this. They're 2 plugs that it plugs into. There's a short one here, and there's one that plugs right into this, what the hell do they call it? A modular or an amp or whatever the hell it is. Can't give you an exact name. When I get them unplugged, you rest this down nice and lightly. Get this one out. One plug. And don't pull it by the wire, pull it by the plug. And these two, you just put, there's clips that push in, just push them, or you gotta unclamp them and they come right out. And then there's my radio. And now time to hook up the 84 Berlinetta radio, which should have the same plug setup. When I was at the yard getting this, I took the same amp and tune setup to it, so in case if there were any modifications, if I ever have to change this radio, I have them to back me up. So I'll put that right in here. Well, I got something new that I just learned about the Berlinetta. Another subtle change that they did. This is my radio plug, the one that belongs in the car, the original one. And this is the junkyard radio plug. Notice the difference? They're both, 8 prongs, but they plug in a different way. Another thing that I love that they did with this car was change it up every year. Beautiful. And if you're wondering about the patch panel, I just finished it. Sprayed the undercoating on it, gave it 2 coats. First I gave it a good coat of black epoxy primer, and then sprayed the undercoating on it. And at the bottom there, down here, if water does leak back in here, I'm wondering if it is or it isn't. I just drilled a small 1/8 inch hole at the bottom, so if there is any kind of moisture in here, it'll drain right out. So, nothing more to worry about. There's everything. Thanks for watching.
24 hours.